Okay, let's dive right into this explainer, and honestly, let's just crush a massive myth right out of the gate. Mastering Claude, it is absolutely not about memorizing weird tricks, and you definitely don't need to yell at the AI in all caps to get what you want. It's actually all about a structured progression. If you really want to go from a casual user to a true pro, you just need a systematic approach.
So here's our game plan for today. 1. The path to mastery. 2. Beginner, where communication is key. 3. Intermediate, mastering structure. 4. Pro, advanced automation. And finally, number 5, the ultimate strategic roadmap.
All right, section 1, the path to mastery. Let's get into it.
Moving right into section 2, beginner. Communication is key.
Think of this like level 1 of a video game. To get the absolute best out of Claude at this foundational stage, you've got to break a really common habit. You have to stop treating it like a basic search engine. Honestly, scratch that mentality entirely. Instead, start speaking to it conversationally. You really want to treat Claude like a highly capable, super smart coworker, but, one that needs extremely explicit, sharp boundaries to actually do their job well.
Which brings us to the golden rule for this stage: context over commands. If you just bluntly demand a task, like saying, "Hey, write me an email about marketing," you are going to get totally generic, uninspired output every single time. To fix this, always front-load your background context before issuing any actual instructions. Context is literally the fuel that powers a great response.
Just think about the exact difference in execution here. An ineffective approach is just a blunt command, but a professional approach that completely changes the game. It gives specific background context, like, say, a prospective client who looked at a software demo last Tuesday. It sets hard constraints, like keeping it under 100 words. It dictates a friendly but punchy tone, and it demands a specific call to action for a 15-minute sync. The difference in the output you're going to get from those two prompts, it's literally night and day.
But hey, what happens when Claude doesn't get it perfectly right on the very first try? Because, let's be real, that happens. And this is exactly where a lot of beginners stumble. If that first response misses the mark, whatever you do, do not discard the thread and start over. You've got to embrace iteration. Directly instruct Claude on exactly what to adjust. Tell it something like, "Okay, the structure is good, but make the tone way less formal and condense that second paragraph into a single sentence." You're actively shaping the output step by step.
Let's level up. Section 3. Intermediate, mastering structure. Welcome to the intermediate tier. It's time to master the 4-block prompt pattern. At this stage, you really have to drop the bad habit of just dumping all your background data, source text, and instructions into one massive, unreadable wall of text. When you do that, the AI just loses track of what's what. Claude performs optimally when you cleanly and clearly isolate your segments. And to achieve that clean isolation, you need to know a little secret. Claude actually has an architectural preference for XML tags. These tags basically act as physical, structural boundaries. So by wrapping your reference data or code neatly inside tags, like the word data and brackets, you're helping the model cleanly separate your step-by-step instructions from your raw data blocks. Then you just say, "Hey Claude, analyze the text located inside the data tags." It makes a world of difference.
Now, at this intermediate level, you've also got to start leveraging Claude's workspace tools, starting with artifacts. When you're generating substantial code, long comprehensive documents, or interactive mockups, Claude opens this dedicated standalone side panel. Using artifacts is a total game changer because it isolates those valuable generated assets. You can view, edit, and iterate on them seamlessly, completely without polluting your main conversation trail. It saves so much valuable screen space.
And for workflows that need the exact same context over and over, we have projects. Projects are fantastic. They let you lock in permanent foundation files. So think about your code-based architecture, internal styling manuals, or your brand's tone guides. You set those up alongside persistent system instructions, and boom, they automatically apply to every single new conversation you start in that specific workspace. It is a massive, massive time saver.
All right, section 4, Pro, advanced automation.
It's time for the boss level. Reaching this stage means you stop interacting with Claude just as a helpful little chat assistant. Instead, you're unlocking its most advanced reasoning capabilities and API-driven layers to run it as a fully automated execution engine. First up, at the pro level, you absolutely must learn to control extended thinking. This is a feature that lets Claude do deep internal processing before it even gives you an answer. You definitely want this turned on for things like highly convoluted software bugs, complex systems architecture, or heavy math proofs.
But, and this is crucial, knowing when to turn it off is just as important. Disable extended thinking for routine stuff, like rapid copy editing, summarizing text, or creative brainstorming. Doing that is going to maximize your speed and optimize your token consumption.
Now for actual engineering tasks, pro users are bypassing the web browser entirely. Enter Claude Code. This is Anthropic's terminal native interface. Deploying this lets Claude operate directly as an active agent right inside your local computer environment. It can safely read your file trees, execute shell commands, run test suites, and patch complex engineering bugs natively. It is a completely different paradigm. It's essentially like having a junior developer living directly inside your terminal.
And to really cement this autonomy within your projects, you've got to build an operational feedback loop. You do this by maintaining a persistent Claude.md file inside the root of your active project directory. Every single time Claude uncovers a unique preference or adopts a rule for your project, you record it right there. Are you tired of reminding the AI of your styling rules every single time you open a chat? Well, because Claude natively parses this markdown file at initialization, it automatically preserves all that context across disconnected sessions. It just tightly adheres to your conventions. No nagging required. Okay, Section 5. The ultimate strategic roadmap. Let's bring it all together.
Think of this as your ultimate cheat sheet. This matrix perfectly summarizes the whole evolution we just talked about. At the beginner level, you're hanging out on the web app, relying on contextual specificity to get good answers. Then, at the intermediate level, you graduate into projects and artifacts, using XML tagging to keep your assets structured. And finally, at the pro level, you're utilizing Claude Code and API connectors, all anchored by that Claude.md file for fully autonomous engineering.
So, now that you have this definitive roadmap laid out so clearly, there's really only one question left to ask yourself about your daily workflow. Are you going to stay operating as an assistant, or are you ready to level up and become the autonomous engineer?